No mai harimai. Welcome, dear listeners, to Soulful Thoughts from New Zealand. This is Meghan Don, your host, death and dying guide, mystic teacher, and author. In light of the ongoing dire circumstances in our world, I would like to begin today with an adaptation from a prayer in my book, Feminine Courage. I invite you to sit quietly and open your heart, breathing deeply into your belly, and pray that our energy together propel this prayer into the hearts of those who are perpetuating violence and willfully killing their sisters and brothers. There are many political levels and layers to this perpetration. We pray for the return of those bound in hatred, bound in others' destruction. We pray their hearts turn. We pray for the return of the Great Mother, that she be known in her dance as the slayer of violence and cruelty, that she be known in the human heart as peace. We pray for the goodness of choice and will and desire to return, for the raising of consciousness from its dire place of willful destroying. May we, the race of humanity, remember our sovereignty and act as royal souls, serving the absolute goodness of all. We are in a time of the great revealing, the revealing of the truth that lies beneath every unturned stone on this earth, not only on a personal level, but also on a global level. And our world will remain on fire until that very last stone has been upturned. One of these stones is that of the Waitaha peoples here in New Zealand, a people who were comprised of many nations and races, and who came to these shores thousands of years ago, living in peace, harmony, and unity together. They are now rising from the ashes from their time of obliteration, as warring tribes came to kill and dominate. A very few of them survived. The peaceful seed of the Waitaha lives on in a few people here, and others, like myself, are being called back to remember the unity and wisdom we lived in another lifetime. We are rising. Recently, I met a wonderful, gentle man from the Waitaha lineage. He is a gifted greenstone carver. Greenstone in New Zealand is called punamu, and is known as the stone to give both spiritual gifts and the energy of peace. I have been wanting a punamu tonga, that is, treasure, for some time now, but have been waiting for the right person to carve it for me. I knew this piece would bring my mana, my power of lineages together. He asked me what animal I most resonated with. Seal was my immediate answer. I described to him the Selkie from the Celtic tradition. He was fascinated, as he had not heard of this before. We spent much time together speaking of our Waitaha connections, the Celtic lore, and how the Celts were part of the Waitaha here in New Zealand all those thousands of years ago. Still today, you have red-haired, blue-eyed, fair-skinned Maoris being born, attesting to this ancient lineage. He showed me numerous types of punamu, and there was one in particular that spoke to us. He said he had been saving this particular piece for 20 years, and he felt it was definitely the piece. We discussed Celtic symbols to be carved, but as the process unfolded, and with dreams showing us the way, we chose to let the stone speak for itself. After that first meeting, I went walking down to the harbour. On my way, a young Maori man greeted me on the street. We exchanged pleasantries as to the nature of the beautiful day, and then he paused, looked me straight in the eye, and said, "There is a seal down at the harbour." I made my way down there and came upon a father and son. I asked them if they had seen the seal. The father asked his son to take me to where the seal was. This young boy was only too eager to show me the way and proudly presented the seal to me. So lovely that it was a young man and boy who were tuned into the seal energy. And there was the seal basking in the sun, way up on the harbour's edge. It always amazes me how they manage to haul themselves up to such heights. From a respectful distance, I offered my greeting. It responded with a knowing look, and then returned to its cherished sleep. When I texted the Waitaha Carver telling him of this, he told me that seals never come up to this particular harbour. We both knew the seal was affirming my punamu carving mana, a beautiful blending and unity of my Waitaha, Celtic and New Zealand heritage. On the morning that the carving was being delivered, I heard at 6 a.m. a Maori chant right outside my window. I looked out, but no one was there. When I told the carver this, he said it was the Waitaha Kaumātua, the wise man, who he knew and who was now deceased. He said he was coming to bless both myself and the carving that was on its way. I couldn't wear the carving straight away. I felt I needed to prepare. It needed ceremony. And so after having this carving on my altar for 2 days and 2 nights, I came and prayed and danced and invited all the wisdom keepers of the ancient ways to come and bless this sacred piece. I danced for a long time, receiving the mana, the power that was being given as I finally placed it on my body, on my skin. Each side is carved, which is not traditionally done, but the carver said to me, I just felt it needed to be carved on both sides, and they both give a very different energy. Feeling it on my skin draws my body memory to the fore, as it holds generations of wisdom. I'm so grateful. And so today, in these days, I pray as a peacekeeper, carrying the energy of generations. I pray for all those places now on fire with war, killing, and devastation, a ruinous, unholy fire. And I pray that the memory of unity and peace come to rest in minds and hearts that seek only power and destruction. May the true mana, the true power be known once more, that we are one people, all with equal rights to home, to care, and to love. If you missed the ceremony we undertook celebrating Samhain, the Day of the Dead, with particular focus on the souls recently dying by violent means, you can still join us through the online recording. Time and space do not affect this, and your participation will be fully efficient and fully received. So please email me at brevmegan@megandon.life or submit the contact form on my website, megandon.life, and you'll be emailed the details. Also, please join me on Facebook. Prayers for those dying through violent means and through trauma are given there. And do sign up for my newsletter, megandon.life. Have a blessed November time. May your prayers of peace go out into the world. Until next month for the final podcast of this year, Ara Nui.